Alright, let's fire it up and go to a better spot to do this video.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it.
What's up YouTube? In today's video I'm going to be doing a bit of an update on the BMW 435, telling you guys where it's at, future plans for it and whatnot. Yeah, let's just get into it.
This sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through.
Alright, so really quickly before I get started, just want to say if you guys aren't subscribed already, hit the button. I make videos pretty often, and yeah, stick around. Plenty more videos to come. But anyways, let's just get into it. Alright guys, so if you're new to the channel or if you're just not really aware, so this is a 2015 BMW 435. It is white with the red interior. It did come factory with the M Sport package and a couple other goodies. So it came with these carbon side mirror caps, which I'm actually going to be replacing also with this over here, but we'll get more into that later. It also came with these black grills over here. So these are the M Sport black grills. They're not the M style ones, which are like the double slit. These are just the single ones. So it came with that. And then lastly, it came with the spoiler on the back. This little like lip spoiler over here. So it's pretty subtle, but honestly, I actually really like it. I know people go for those like crazy ducktail style ones. They look good, but honestly, I really like this one. It looks subtle, but it still gives like a more aggressive extended look to the rear. So if you guys can kind of see that like there. But yeah, it is pretty cool that this car came with a couple other things besides it just being the M Sport. So yeah, other than that, again, it's just a normal 435. So it has the N55 engine. It has about like maybe 60,000 miles or so. I will be doing a separate video about, you know, like the durability of this car, the reliability, and you know what I've kind of had to deal with so far with owning this car and what's sort of been failing as well, not just mechanically but also physically, like especially things with the interior. Again, if you're not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be making a lot more videos about this car. That's going to be a separate video. I'm probably going to also do like a separate video of the mods that I've done to it so far, and then more specifically like a breakout of the price, so you guys can have an idea of like what certain mods cost and whatnot. I haven't done anything too crazy on it. Everything that I've done has been in a previous video before, but again, I'll just do like one whole video talking about all the mods on it so far. But yeah, in this video I more so want to talk about like this future plans for this car and whatnot. Again, I've done a couple things to it so far, but I've only just been getting started. Honestly, I've been doing some small mods just to get them out of the way, also while the YouTube channel kind of like grows and I get more subscribers. I don't want to do anything crazy and dramatic when I barely have any subscribers. So as of the time that I'm filming this video, I think I have about like 250 or so a decent amount. So I do want to get started with some bigger mods. Again, I know I've been kind of getting roasted. I've been doing small mods so far, but you know, like again, I just wanted to grow the YouTube channel, see where this went before I went crazy. As you guys know, mods are not cheap. I mean, like wheels, coilovers, that stuff is expensive. So yeah, I didn't want to go crazy and get those mods yet until the YouTube channel is a little bigger and I get more of like a following. But now with the YouTube channel growing, thankfully, we'll definitely start diving into some of that. By the way guys, I'm really sorry, the car is like filthy. But as you can see, it's been raining a lot recently. It's probably actually going to rain a little bit, so might have to continue this video another day. But yeah, it's kind of tough to clean the car and then, you know, it just rains the next day. It kind of sucks. So it's not too bad. But yeah, just ignore how dirty it is right now. Anyways, here's a couple shots of the interior. Again, it has the red interior. I think it's called the Dakota red interior. And then it has, if I can sneak in through the window without opening up the door, but it has this black wooden trim. It looks good. It's not my favorite. It feels more like luxury car-esque. So I do want to swap it out for something. Yeah, anyways, that's a quick look at the interior. So now let's look at the rear of the car. Again, nothing too crazy done here yet. Again, I'll do like a separate video about all the mods, but I did do the rear diffuser, license plate cover. Again, it is a 435. It is pre-LCI. Obviously, the 440s are post LCI, so it has the pre LCI taillights. Like I mentioned before, it has this little lip spoiler over here. This might give you like a better angle of it. And then something I probably forgot to mention, it is xDrive as well. So yeah, so that's the rear of the car. I think I pretty much showed you all of it. Again, if you are new here and this is the first time you're seeing the car, pretty basic F32 435 white red interior, a great spec in my opinion. I think these cars honestly look the best in white with the red interior, but that's just obviously personal preference and I might be a little biased. Yeah, anyways, let's start getting into some future plans. The big thing is obviously going to be wheels and suspension. So in terms of the wheels, so these are the base M Sport 18s over here. Nothing crazy, right? Like they're okay looking. They're pretty curved up and pretty dirty as well. These things accumulate so much brake dust, it's crazy. The ones that I've been thinking about are the BMW 437Ms. So if you guys aren't familiar, those are actually the wheels that come off like an M3 or M4. So yeah, I think those wheels would look much better on the car. They are 19s, but the problem is they are staggered. So as you guys saw before, this is an xDrive. So with xDrive, it gets a little tricky with staggered wheels. You basically have to make sure like the diameter of the two wheels, basically, so the front and the rears, are within like 1%. So the BMW 437M wheels, if you get them directly off of an M3 or an M4, they'll basically come with, I believe it's like two 55s in the front and then two 75s over in the rears. So if you basically buy a set with tires already on them, you pretty much can't use the tires, at least from like what I've researched and found out. Basically those two will be within like 1%, so I basically have to buy a set without tires and then also get tires separately, which is pretty pricey, and then you also have to pay for like getting the tires mounted and balanced. So that's definitely going to be pricey, but I think it'll look really good. So other than the 437Ms, I have been thinking about some like variant wheels, maybe like bronze. I don't know, I want to get something a little more interesting. I think bronze would actually look really good on the white. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely let me know down in the comments below. So while on the topic of wheels, so right now I do have wheel spacers just to make these normal 18s look a little better. So if you guys can see, they do poke out a little more. So in the front I have a 15mm, and then in the rear I have 20mm. So nothing too crazy. It does make these 18s look better. Here's another shot from the rear. So if you can see that there, you can also see a little ding, door ding. This is why you never park next to people. As you can tell, I am parked far away. But yeah, anyways, I do have wheel spacers over there. I will be getting rid of those once I get the new wheels. Hopefully once I get the new wheels, I'll just make sure that they're the right offset and they have like, you know, sort of like a similar fitment. I do think wheels look good when they poke out just a little bit. But yeah, anyways, I think that's enough about the wheels. So something else sort of in the wheel world is suspension. So as you can see, this car has a lot of wheel gap. The front is worse, the rear isn't as bad, but yeah, it has a lot of wheel gap. Again, this is the X-Drive, so if you guys didn't know already, the X-Drive is a little higher than the rear wheel drive variant. But yeah, in terms of suspension, I have been debating with like lowering springs, but I'm too worried about like the shocks eventually blowing out. So what I think I've decided to do is go with some Bilstein coilovers. So with Bilstein, there's two options. There's the B16 and then the B14. The only difference is the B16 can actually adjust the dampening, which is nice to have, but honestly the difference in price just doesn't seem worth it to me. So the B14s are about like $1,000, maybe like 1,100. The B16s are about like $2,000. So like, I don't know if I want to pay $1,000 to adjust the dampening. Like honestly, what I want to do is get rid of the wheel gap, front and rear, then also make sure that I'm not getting lowering springs that are just going to blow out the stock shocks. So that way, if you get a whole coilover set, you should be good, but then you can also adjust the height. From what I've researched, the B14 is pretty much like original ride quality, so it's not going to be too much more firm, which is pretty good because I do drive this car a lot, so having a more comfortable ride, especially in New York, is probably going to be beneficial. I will be doing other suspension mods as well, so that as well as the wider wheels and a couple other things which I'll talk about should make the car handle a lot better. The B14s will lower the car, but honestly not too much. Like you're not going to go slammed on those coilovers, but that's honestly fine. In New York, if you're driving your car daily, the amount of potholes here, like you really can't be slammed, at least not static. So other than that, while we're here, something else that I actually got, this one I already ordered, is if you guys remember, if you're not new here, I did a video basically installing like these clear side markers over here on the car. I ended up honestly really hating them and I just removed them. So what I actually did was I went ahead and ordered some paint matched ones. So those are actually coming in the mail soon. Hopefully they'll come here soon. I don't know. The order is actually being a little sketchy. I ordered that as well as some other parts that I'll talk about later. And it was about like 400 bucks and they never provided like a shipping number or tracking number, whatever you call it. A little sketchy. I only ordered it a couple days ago, so I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they come in and hopefully I didn't get scammed. But yeah, so paint match side markers are definitely coming in. I wanted to get rid of these for a while now, so I'm actually excited for those to come in. If we take a step back, honestly, them just being white is going to look so much cleaner on the car. The orange is just, it just kind of sticks out, you know? But yeah, I'm trying to think of like what else is going to be on the car from over here. Oh, actually the side mirrors. So I kind of briefly mentioned them before. So right now I have the normal ones and then the clear side markers over here, not side markers, turn signals. So I've already bought this, but I have the ones that are sort of like the M style ones that come out over here. And then I also have a set of smoked out sequential turn signals to go over here. So in the rear, I'm not going to be doing too much, but one big thing that I want to do, if you guys can see, like I was mentioning before, this is pre-LCI. So I was debating on getting the post LCI taillights. They do look way better. Then if you guys are familiar with these cars, you'll know that the F30s got these like GTS style aftermarket taillights, and a whole bunch of people have been going crazy over them. They honestly look really good. It's basically the taillights off the M4 GTS, except made to fit like an F30 or an F80. Like everyone who has an F30 or an F80 has been putting them on, but they look so freaking good. So when I saw that, I kind of figured I'd hold off on the LCI taillights and I'll wait for those taillights, the GTS ones, to come out for the 4 Series. They have been taking a while. The ones for the F30s have been out for mad long at this point, and the F32 is taking forever, but I think they are supposed to be coming out soon. I think sometime in like June or July, so I'm definitely going to be putting those in. It's just going to make the car look so much newer and fresher, and honestly, like I don't know if it will make it feel more aggressive, but it'll definitely make it feel more expensive and and more modern for sure. So yeah, hopefully that's going to be coming out soon. Also, it looks like it's about to rain any minute now, so I should probably speed it up. All right, so that's the taillights. Again, this trunk lip spoiler, I'm going to leave this one for now. I don't have any plans to change this out. Maybe in the future when the car is starting to look a little more aggressive, I might switch it out for a more aggressive spoiler, but right now I think this suits the car. I think I might end up taking off the X-Drive, what do you call it, like emblem and whatnot. I don't know if I want to take off the 435 one. And then yeah, otherwise in the rear, I think that's pretty much it. I already have the diffuser like I said, but something I do want to do is switch out these exhaust tips. These ones look fine, but I really like the M Performance like carbon fiber style ones. I'm just looking into like where I can get those for a decent price. In terms of exhaust, the car already sounds really good, but obviously it could be a lot better. I don't know if an aftermarket exhaust system is worth it. It's like 1,200 bucks. So what I think I might do is actually do like a resonator delete. I've heard that on a couple other cars and it sounds really good. So I think it's going to sound really good on this car as well. But I think in terms of exhaust, I might just do that. I don't know about the muffler delete. I think the car actually sounds better with the resonator delete and then leaving the muffler, at least from the videos that I've seen. But again, if you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. All right, so I think that's really it in the rear over here. Again, this side is going to be the same thing, right? Like we said, wheels and suspension, doing the paint match side markers over there. There it is. I like, couldn't find it for a second there. All right, so now let's go into the engine bay and tell you guys the plans for that. All right, so here's the engine bay. So again, this is the BMW N55, which is a 3.0 inline six with a single turbo. It's not a twin turbo, it's just a twin scroll turbo. So it's a single turbo. This car honestly makes a good amount of power and you can definitely push a lot more out of it. So I do have a couple things done to it right now. I have this BMS air intake right over here with a couple heat shields as well. And then I also have a Burger Motorsports JB Plus tune, if you guys can see that down there. Let me see if I can zoom in. So there it is over there. Obviously that's nothing crazy. This does give me a little more power, but you know, again, just nothing really too noticeable. So I do have a lot more plans for the engine bay specifically. One of them kind of relates to the suspension as well as what I was talking about with the side marker. I said I made an order for a couple things. So the other thing in that order was actually a strut bar that's going to go between obviously like the strut towers over here. So the one I ordered is actually black aluminum, which I think will look really good because this air intake is black aluminum. So that with a strut bar kind of going across from like here to there, so it's going to kind of cut like, you know, somewhere in the middle of the engine cover. I think that would look really good. Also, that should make the car handle a lot better because obviously you're adding some rigidity in the chassis, so it should stiffen up the car and make it handle a lot better. Other than that, I do plan to change out the charge pipe in this car. These ones are plastic and they do tend to crack and break, so I definitely need to do that. That's actually going to be towards the top of the list in terms of things to do to the car. I'm also eventually going to take out this tune over here. I mean, it was fun and it was nice, you know, having it for a little bit, but I do want to push more power out of the car. Nothing too crazy, but I do want more power than this JB Plus gives. If you guys saw in one of my previous videos, I do have a JB4 for this car. I actually bought it like years ago, planned to put it in. I never did. I was thinking I would do the JB Plus first and then do the JB4, but honestly at this rate, I think I'm gonna just skip the JB4 in total. I might sell it. It is brand new. It's never been used before, so if you guys are interested in buying it, follow me on Instagram. I will make a post when I'm about to sell it, so if you guys are interested, you know, we can definitely talk about it. But yeah, what I think I'm gonna do is actually remove the JB Plus, sell the JB4, and then get boot mod for this car. Or is it boot mode? I don't really know. I hear people calling it both. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Again, you know, getting rid of the JB Plus, doing that. The aluminum strut bar over here, like I said, it's gonna be black and glossy, so it's gonna match this and it should look pretty good. I'm definitely gonna do an upgraded charge pipe. Those things are gonna be soon. The aluminum strut bar is actually on its way here. The charge pipe I still need to order. Down the line, I might do some catless down pipes. I know people are gonna be like, why didn't you do it yet? But I don't know, like I'm just worried about like emissions and passing inspection and all that type of stuff. If anyone is in New York and they have catless down pipes and they can give me a little more info on like how you deal with inspection and stuff like that, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to do a catless downpipe, but at the same time, I obviously have to make sure this car passes emissions and all that type of stuff. One other thing I forgot, by the way, is these V-brace bars, whatever you call them. I might wrap them in red. I'm still trying to figure out like the color scheme of this car. I love the white, I love the red interior, but I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that. I am debating like wrapping the car and stuff like that, so I have to see, you know, like what color I go for, what I want the accent colors to be, because whatever that accent color is, I'm gonna do the V-brace over here, whatever it's called again. If I'm saying it wrong, sorry. And then I want to do the calipers the same color as well. Oh, and then also next time I have to change the brakes, I think I'm going to do some like drilled and slotted brakes as well, just so they look better behind the new wheels that I get. All right, anyways, I think it's about to rain very soon, so let's just close the engine bay and go inside. All right, so here's the interior of the car. Before I actually get started, just in case it does start raining, I'm probably going to close the windows, so let me do that really quickly. Alright guys, so as soon as I got in the car, you can probably hear it, but as soon as I got in and I closed the windows, it started pouring. At least I got to do the outside of the car. I knew it was gonna rain soon, so it is what it is, guys. You can definitely hear it right now for sure. It is so loud. Let me show you really quickly. So that is the rain right now. Yeah, it is pouring right now. Like, literally that timing was insane. Basically filmed the entire outside of the car, and as soon as I get in and I close the windows, it starts pouring. Anyways, although I'm inside, the audio is probably really bad right now, so I'm actually just gonna wait till tomorrow and wrap up this video. So anyways, just gonna fast forward until then. What's up, YouTube? It's a couple days later. I don't have a beard now, so I probably look a little different. Anyways, forget about my face. I want to continue with showing you guys like the future plans with the car and whatnot. We already went through like the outside and everything. I think I covered on everything. Hopefully I didn't miss it. But right now I actually want to cover the interior because there are a couple things I want to do inside the interior of this car. So let me show you guys. All right, so here's the interior of the car. Again, the other day it was raining. Thankfully it's much nicer today. It's also really hot. So again, I have the AC on, so hopefully that doesn't affect the audio too much. But the interior of this car is pretty standard right now. I did do a couple things like the red start button, the LCI ambient lighting, which is still super bright and you can see over here. And then I actually changed the pedals down there as well. So nothing too crazy, but I do have a couple plans for this car in terms of the interior. So one of the things that I want to do is actually changing out this trim. So this car currently has like the black like wooden trim. It looks really good, but it kind of looks more like luxury car-esque. Doesn't really look sporty in my opinion. Again, it looks really good, and I think just from the factory how you can kind of get these cars, probably one of the best trims that you can pick. But I want something a little more sporty and aggressive, so I actually want to swap this out with the, if you guys are familiar with it, it's like the M Performance trim. So this part over here will be like Alcantara, this part will be carbon fiber, and then it'll also come with this piece over here, which is hard to see because the sun is so bright. But yeah, it's the same like blackish wooden trim, and then the same thing on the doors, so that door trim over there. So all that's going to be carbon fiber, and then this over here will be like Alcantara, and then same thing over here with this like the shift knob. So this part will be carbon fiber. This piece, if you can see like the line over there, so basically everything within that line is going to be Alcantara, and then this silver over here carbon fiber as well. So I definitely want to get that for the car. I think it'll look a lot better, especially with the red interior. I think it'll look really cool. The only issue is that's like $1,000 alone, and as you guys know, like $1,000 goes a long way with these cars. That could be wheels, that could be coilovers, which I'm gonna get anyways. So the trim is probably gonna be something that comes a little later. It's just hard to justify paying $1,000 right now for the trim. I do want to do it for sure, but just not right now. And then something else I want to do is actually in terms of the steering wheel. So I know it is super dirty right now. I do need to give it a proper clean, but I do want to swap this out. So I'm debating if I should go and like just completely swap out the steering wheel for like the digital one. I'm not too crazy about how those look. I mean, they're cool, but I don't know, I'm just not in love with them, and they are pretty pricey, so I don't want to spend that much money on something like I don't absolutely love. But I really do want like an Alcantara steering wheel. Again, doing the trim Alcantara over here within like an Alcantara steering wheel, I think is gonna look amazing. And then not only that, I want one with like carbon fiber over here. So I know you can get those steering wheels and that'll have all of it like already set up, so the Alcantara, the carbon fiber over here. But there are a couple alternatives right now that I'm exploring. So like one of them is like the stitch thing that you can get, and you can basically like wrap around the steering wheel and then you stitch it yourself from the inside. So if you guys didn't know, like these steering wheels, it has stitching on the inside, right? So like you basically take like this Alcantara lining, you put it around the steering wheel, and then you stitch it yourself on. So you're basically gonna maintain the same exact steering wheel. You actually don't have to remove this, but then you're gonna get like this Alcantara sort of like surround. I don't know what this part of the steering wheel is actually called, but and then another cool thing, because obviously you're adding an extra layer, it's gonna make the steering wheel feel a little like thicker. I do have sort of larger hands, so it's nice to have a steering wheel that feels thicker, because right now this one is good, but yeah, it could be better. So yeah, adding that extra layer will definitely make it feel thicker. It'll make it look nicer. And then I think I can also swap out like this trim specifically. So I have to look into pricing and stuff. The Alcantara piece isn't too bad. The carbon fiber might be a little more pricey because it's carbon fiber. I think it'll probably be cheaper just to do that rather than swapping out the entire steering wheel. Oh, and then another thing I actually want to do is swap out these paddle shifters over here. These look good, but I actually like the ones that are like longer, so like they come up to here and they're skinnier. They just look really cool in my opinion. Maybe some like carbon fiber ones, and I'm not talking about the ones you just stick on the back of these paddle shifters and just kind of extends it. I mean, like, I actually want to swap these out, so I actually think I'm gonna have to take off the steering wheel regardless to do that. So I think that's pretty much it for the steering wheel. There are a couple other things I want to do to the car. So one of them is actually the gauge cluster right over here. So this one does look nice, but I'm sure as you guys know, the newer BMWs have like a completely digital cluster, which I think looks really cool. That cluster is like $1,700 from Keys Motorsports, which is pretty insane. Like $1,700 is a lot of money, guys, so I definitely want to do it. I'm gonna see how this car progresses, how long I keep it. If I do decide to get it, I'm definitely going to keep this car long term because that is a big investment in my opinion. So yeah, the point is I do want to do it, just not soon. That's going to be one of the mods that I kind of push, you know, maybe towards the bottom of my list. Especially like $1,700, I can do so many exterior mods, so many performance mods for that money. So other than that, something else I want to do isn't really like a mod, I guess. It is, but it isn't really. It's actually more for my own comfort, is I actually want to install Apple CarPlay on this car. So this is a 2015, so these cars did not come with Apple CarPlay, unfortunately. That's not too pricey. I think I found a set for like maybe $350, $400, so that one isn't too bad. So that's going to be probably like midway on the list, but definitely want to do that. Probably not one that you guys are going to be too interested in, but honestly, that one's going to be more for me. All right, guys, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think I went over all the mods that I want to do to this car. Again, some I want to do soon, some I want to do later, some I actually already ordered. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It's gonna let you know every time I upload a new video. But yeah, otherwise I think that pretty much wraps up this video. So be sure to drop a like, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.